This video is for those of you that have been nice enough to subscribe to my channel and watch lots of my videos. Way back in one of my favorites called What Did I Just Read? Stegron, and followed by my video The Sinister Spider Rogues, I revealed my obsession with my favorite Spider-Man villain, Stegron. We've got the 1978 merchandise, the beach towel, the Presto Magics with Stegron. And we've got his 4 comic book appearances that led up to that merchandise. The Marvel Team Up issues 19 and 20. Amazing Spider-Man issues 165 and 166. And we've got those last 2 issues reprinted in these UK releases of Super Spider-Man and this French release of the Stegron Adventures. Well, here's my latest edition. The first 2 comics were reprinted in this Marvel Treasury edition. Look, this gigantic comic. And inside is its original owner's bookmark. This receipt from May 19th, 1979. Pretty cool, right? Oh, and check out this 3,000-piece Spider-Man puzzle that my daughter got me that has Stegron. And while we're on the subject of treasuries, the last one I showed was this one from Battlestar Galactica. And I said I'd probably do it, and I did. I got the magazine-sized original version. And check this out. It's the same art, but it's painted. Wow! And the inside cover artwork is in color. Look, coloring is slightly different. Ooh, very different. This is actually redrawn. I love how it's much more vibrant in the magazine. Oh, you know what? The internet was wrong. The Treasury must have come out first because this magazine has the new artwork from the comic series. No, that's not true. It's like a intermediary phase because it still has the original artwork that is not in the comics. It just has some slight changes. And even though it's mostly the same colors as the Treasury and not the new comic colors, there are differences. Look at that. Definitely a very cool missing link between the Treasury and the comic series. And here, yep, you can see it's the original Treasury art. It's just new colors and it really pops. Oh wow, check this out. They recreated this drawing with this awesome painting. Wow. Check out how much better these photographs print in the magazine. Well, that's even a different photo. I don't know why they did it, but they recreated everything much nicer. Yeah, they really can't print the photos all that well in the giant Treasury, not compared to the magazine. See? They're all improved. Check it out. They made the art better again. The improvements are interesting in how similar they are to the originals. Amazing. They took all the original illustrations and just painted them. Okay, check this out. You can tell they colored it with markers. Look at that. And we end with different inside back cover advertisements just because they came out at different times. All right, back in my videos, the story of the Orient Express and Then There Were None, I covered my mom's collection of Agatha Christie novels and us going to see the movies and the plays and what have you. Well, the latest movie in the series has come out. It's called A Haunting in Venice, and it's based on the book A Halloween Party. Now, just like before, we went to go see the movie, and then I went back and watched the earlier version of it on film, and I went to go get the book, the paperback book, but the one I wanted that matches this set was a little too expensive, but I was in luck because I found out they made it in comic book form, in a hardcover book. Check out how awesome this is. After the movie was over, my mom said she didn't recognize what Agatha Christie story this was. She must have somehow missed that book or film or whatever. I told her, no, it's based on A Halloween Party. And she said, well, these are nothing alike. They're completely different. In A Haunting in Venice, Poirot attends a seance with his mystery writer friend Ariadne Oliver, where Rowena Drake has hired the psychic Joyce Reynolds to contact her deceased daughter. While there, Poirot is almost drowned while bobbing for an apple in another room. In A Halloween Party, Rowena Drake throws the party where Joyce Reynolds, a 13-year-old girl, is drowned while bobbing for an apple in another room after saying she once witnessed a murder. Poirot is aided by his mystery writer friend, Ariadne Oliver, to solve the murder. They both have characters named Desmond Holland and Olga Semenoff. The ending in both revealed that Leopold was blackmailing the killer, and the killer is revealed to be the same character in both the book and the movie. I see your point. Clearly nothing alike. Okay, back in my video, Major Inepact, the Space Ace, I talked about the Kennedy Space Center that I went to in 1978, and after 25 years, I finally went back, and I got another Skylab souvenir. I had to ask somebody to find it for me because this was the only thing they had in the whole place for Skylab, and it wasn't easy to find. The guy was shocked. He's like, nobody asked for Skylab stuff. I said, hey, last time I was here, this was in orbit. And back in my video Super Review Oz, 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 I showed my Wizard of Oz collection. Well, the day after we went to the Space Center, we went to another place in Cape Canaveral, the Wizard of Oz Museum. Look, I got another puzzle. This based on the original book art. And check this out. Moving on to my video Potpourri for 500, I showed off my newly acquired Power Comics and said something big was yet to come. Well, here it is. The complete John-Tar. Check this out. And I got mine signed. If you check out the Power Comics YouTube channel right now, their latest video is their journey to track down and visit John-Tar's creator. Speaking of comic book YouTube channels, today is the 5th anniversary of everyone's favorite, Cartoonist Kayfabe. Now, I already showed co-host Ed Pisker's book, WYSIWYG, back in my video, Free Kevin. But let me show you some of the other stuff I have. Ed Pisker's latest book is Hip Hop Family Tree, the Omnibus. It reprints all 4 of his treasury-sized editions of the Hip Hop Family Tree. These are the books he worked on after WYSIWYG. My first 2 have this case. Oh, look, a little mini comic. Wow, that's cool. Unfortunately, my 3rd and 4th issues don't have that hard case. But now I've got the new, smaller but still large, Omnibus reprint. Why did I get this? Well, it's got, I think, hundreds of extra pages of material. And then I've got the Ed Piskor X-Men Grand Design 3-part Marvel Treasury Edition series. And here's co-host Jim Rugg's Marvel Treasury Edition of the Hulk Grand Design that came out this year. And every once in a while, they have a third co-host, Tom Scioli, and this is his Marvel Treasury Edition Fantastic Four Grand Design. But back to Jim Rugg, I have his hardcover book, Aphrodisiac. Love this comic. Really cool. Can you dig it? And his latest release, this came out last week, the 1986 magazine, Marvel's New Universe. I have every single comic. Look, all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle knockoff comics. I made a video about those. And everything from Silverwolf Comics. I have every single release they ever made. I'll have to make a series of videos on that. And then back to Tom Scioli, we have his Jack Kirby, The Epic Life of the King of Comics from last year, and I Am Stan, a geographic biography of the legendary Stan Lee. This came out this year. Hardcover books. Also from this year, we have Jack Kirby's Star Warriors, starring Adam Starr and the Solar Legion. And then I've got this Tom Scioli GoBots trade paperback that I got in an early Atomic Comics video. I talked about how I went into my comic book store from the 80s, many, many decades later, and the guy still remembered me, and I was spent hours in there getting covered in dust and finding things. I found this there. This is years before I found the Cartoonist Kayfabe channel or knew who any of these people were. Awesome. And of course, back in that same potpourri video, I followed up my previous videos about the Elvira in Monsterland comic that have been coming out this year, including the video exploring Tatooine. Well, here I can finally end that tale. This is as far as I got in the previous videos. Well, I added this to my collection because I met the cover artist and got it signed. He had the original art with him. And then issue 3 came out. Check it out, with the werewolves. Inside, we start with an American Werewolf in London from 1981. Then we go into the Wolfman from 1941 and into Teen Wolf from 1985. And then I believe this is Wolf from 1994 that has Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm not sure. I haven't actually seen it. Then we've got The Howling from 1981 and The Wolf of Wall Street. And then last week, I went and saw Cassandra Peterson in person again and got her to sign this copy of issue 3. And over the last 2 months, issues 4 and issues 5 have come out. We've got the kaiju and then the big epic battle of the full team up, and this ends the series. So then I went to find what else is there. Well, in the 80s, there was a black and white comic called Elvira, Mistress in the Dark from Claypool Comics, and Dynamite has been collecting and reprinting them. This is the first omnibus. It collects issues 1 through 27. When Dynamite Comics originally picked up the license after Claypool, they put out their own Elvira, Mistress in the Dark series. It was 12 issues long, and they have been collected in these trade paperbacks. The first 2 are out. These collect issues 1 through 8. So they're going to have to come out with a 3rd issue so I can have that entire run. And all of the Elvira comics from Dynamite have been written by David Avallone. After he kicked things off with these new Mistress of the Dark comics, he came out with the Shape of Elvira series, which is collected here in this trade paperback. After that, there were 2 Kickstarter campaigns for 48-page one-shot comic specials. One in 2021 called Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, Omega Ma'am, and in 2022, Elvira, The Wrath of Khan. Also in 2022, there was an Indiegogo campaign for a 40-page one-shot comic called The Death of Elvira. Unfortunately, all 3 of these comics are too expensive for me to buy now. But David Avallone, who didn't write any of those, came back with a new series called Elvira Meets Vincent Price, a 5-issue series, and the trade paperback collection will be out this month, and then I'll have it. He followed that with another 5-issue miniseries called Elvira in Horrorland, and the trade paperback collection of that will come out in January, and that's when I'll have that. And that storyline continues in the Elvira in Monsterland issues 1 through 5 that I've been getting this year. Same writer, continuing storyline, just through each different miniseries. And the newest thing is there will be another miniseries, Elvira Meets H.P. Lovecraft, issues 1 through 5, coming out in 2024. And then I watched on Amazon Prime the movie that kicked all of these things off, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, from the late 1980s. Now, if you're a real long-time fan, you may remember back in my Venture into the Vault video, The Story of Muscle, I mentioned how I hoped that one day I could get the entire Kinnikuman run of animated episodes and movies subtitled in English. Well, after 25 years, I got those too.
まんまと罠にはまってくれたな、ロビン・マスク。何？ビッグタッカー！うわあ！いいね！ロビン、何をする？ついに負けを認めたか、ビッグタッカー！
And to finish things off, it's only been 2 months since I made a video about my first comic book to commemorate filling 20 long boxes with my 5,000 comics, and I've already increased my collection by another 2 long boxes. And you know what? I'm gonna need a 23rd box if I get anything new. Crazy!